If you haven't seen the rest of our show, know that what you're about to see is so much better than what we've been doing. It's a miracle that it's taken 2 hours and 57 minutes right now to get to this point. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the education crash course that has been this entire season of the secondary. It is time for Everything DB with Darius Butler.
Oh, let's go. Excited about this. Should be the best one of the year.
Whoa.
Wide.
Come on, man. We got a DB coach here, D coordinator, head coach here. Can't wait for this one. This was, speaking of DCs, Lou Anarumo was on the show yesterday. He spoke about this play. Said this was his favorite play. Right. Good old Mike Hilton out of the slot. So this will be kind of a common theme that we'll talk about today, some simulated pressure. Basically, simulated pressure is something that the fans at home, it looks like a blitz. Quarterback, sometimes it look like a blitz. But as far as the defense, in a blitz, for those of you who don't know, that's when you're sending more than 4 pass rushers at the quarterback. And that classifies it. If you're only sending 4, that's a normal pass rush. You still got 7 guys in the coverage. If you're sending 5 or more, that's a blitz. So this is pressure, but not a blitz. You're going to get the pressure from the nickel.
Is this the exotics and the amoebas?
I wouldn't say exotic. No, I wouldn't say that.
Like
but,
Joe?
Yeah, I wouldn't say exotic. Exotics, that's more you sending 4 or 5 from the same side. You're doing different shit. But this is clever though. This is good. It's great coaching because it takes definitely takes some good coaching, good execution. So you see right now from Mike Hilton, like this offensive line AQ is not going to be counting. He's not topped off by a safety right now. He's not looking out there saying this guy has any chance of coming. You're anticipating, obviously, these 4 down rushers to be coming, but Trey Hendrickson up top, he'll be dropping out in coverage. Mike Hilton will actually be the blitzer coming in late, holding that disguise. So Josh Allen, he's looking left. He sees Trey dropping out, so he believes, obviously, I got time to go through my my reads. They end up dropping back into basically a cover 2 shell, so you still got 7 guys in the coverage. Right tackle, you'll see it better from the back copy. He never can get his hands on Mike Hill. This was called a fumble in the field. I believe they overturned it and said it was an incomplete pass. Trey Hendrickson running to the ball, no gloves, doing all the dirty work per usual. But you're going to see this. And another point here, another coaching point. Once Trey, since he is dropping out into coverage, now if you run a little bit more, DJ Reader, who's a D tackle, now he's responsible to pass rush to the outside because you want to keep an athletic quarterback like Josh Allen caged in, and especially when you know when you got a speedster blitzing off from the other side. So everybody doing their job. Everybody's on the same page, 9-6. He goes inside that right tackle. He gets his hand on him and then looks out to Mike Hilton. It's too late at that point. You had it was 16 yards away before the snap where he came from. You see what Josh Allen's looking. Now, okay, it's too many. These windows are kind of blocked out over there. You see Hendrickson in his window taking away the short throw. So as a quarterback now, especially the good ones, they can kind of pick up on it. Sometimes you like Brady or the older guys who've seen it a lot. In the red area, we used to drop 8 a lot against these guys, try to take away those windows, and they understand, okay, if you're dropping 8, I got time to go through these reads and give my receivers time to find windows. But because of Mike Hilton's speed, and it's a field thing, man. You've heard him talk about Mike Hill. He just called him a football player. It's a field thing, kind of in and out. Sometimes he's showing, sometimes he's going, sometimes he's not. Great execution from the full squad. But look, this is a common thing you're going to see with good defenses. Look at this conversation going on here. It's talking there. It's another conversation going up here. These D linemen are talking. Everybody's talking. Quiet defense is a dead defense.
I saw Bills fans saying the Bengals wearing white is why they were so successful. Is that real?
Is that fact?
Hey, all that.
Because of snow?
All of that.
Yeah,
that's the
Bills.
Glove colors.
It's hard right now to even watch this.
The lighting at the stadium sucks anyways, but that's also the Bills' choice to wear whatever color they want, correct? They're the home team. They could pick.
Yeah, I wonder when they have to make that
decision. I never made those calls, Coach.
I don't know.
Who makes that call?
No, absolutely. All that comes into play.
Really, when do you have to make that decision?
As far as jersey.
Well,
like the Dolphins, the only ones that wear white at home.
In September, like when it's going to be really hot, they choose to wear the light jerseys and make you go down there in that heat and that humidity and wear your dark jerseys, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so
you should have worn the white helmets.
Chuck, why'd you make Pat wear all white?
Yeah, every day.
It looks sweet.
No, I didn't. That's why I got in shape though. 4K changed it all for me.
Well,
people start seeing my belly button.
Chuck though. I mean, white Dago shoes. I mean, that's just it's in
Whoa.
it's in our
Can't say that. He can't say that.
I can.
Is he allowed to
I
say
think
what he
he
just
can,
said right there?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he can say it.
Yeah,
and-
thank you.
it's-
I'm
it's
offended.
certain
What do you
words like
mean?
that, Connor.
What are you talking about?
I'm
It's
offended
just
by
certain
it.
words like that, you know.
I'm putting my foot down. I'm offended.
Yeah,
But
but
everybody's offended about something.
I am right now.
Who cares?
Oh, great. Now I'm the victim.
Yeah, that's right.
well, 23andMe told me that I could have joined that conversation. I think, right?
They told me
yeah.
that.
And they told me that I couldn't.
Really? Oh, okay. All right. So
Chuck,
maybe
you're Irish?
Whoa! Let's not discredit
hold
that. That's all I
on.
got. I put a pinky ring on immediately.
I got a question for you, D-Bud.
Yep.
So Hilton being over number 2,
Yep.
like if quarterback and the offensive line is looking at anybody, they got to be looking at 55, right? Because he's backed up by the safety. You mentioned the guy being backed up
Yep.
in that conversation. So they got to assume that Diggs is going to be covered by the free safety, and that guy has no chance of coming.
No chance.
So the
yeah.
execution was amazing. And then the left end that's coming, he could go crashing hard inside right away.
Yeah.
And not buy the eyes and the attention of that tackle and to give that guy time to get out there. So that was another great job.
Yeah, he goes up and then out.
And
Attention
this
to
is one
detail,
of those
man.
simulated where they end up in Tampa, right?
Yep.
Tampa 2. Yeah, great job. by
Because
these
he's
guys.
looking right at him because he's going up the field. Oh, he's actually coming.
Yeah. And even
Not
get,
pull.
So 55 not
And even
coming.
get- yeah.
So he stayed on him even longer.
Yeah.
Does Diggs come open on this?
He can. So
his
if
mind.
Josh Allen just drops back and throws this ball to because this backside corner, who we talked about this too during the season, that backside corner is playing the deep half. We know I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't like putting corners in halves because right now he's going to stop his feet for a route that's actually been covered great by Trey Hendrickson, but he's going to stop his feet. And Stephon Diggs, we talk about speed at 3 all the time. If Josh just lets this ball go, now this is better than any coverage that you can run a guy in your face. But if he has time, which he should, you know, ideally that's a touchdown. to
Look at
Diggs
this
if he
guy.
does that.
He gets
Yeah,
on his
he-
fucking
What
horse.
do we call that?
Man,
that
Kind of
backside
push or
that
shove. Yeah,
right?
shove, yep.
And like
Ballsy
to your
move by that
point,
middle
he's not
backer.
used to that.
Yeah.
What's that, AJ?
it's a ballsy move by that backer. He starts out with great depth, and then he kind of almost squares up and looks back at the quarterback. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I do not feel safe with Stephon Diggs running up the seam.
Yeah. We saw this
And I
with
know I'm
Fred
deep as
Warner.
the deepest.
Yep. We saw with Fred Warner running down the middle of the pipe with
He's a
CD
freak.
Lamb. So yeah, just great execution, pre-snap, post-snap, and deep defensive coaches will tell you if you're blitzing, get your ass in there. Like that's way too far. You know, they'll be like you're way too far because you'll never get home. But Mike Hilton has a great feel. Probably I would say the best feel coming off that edge.
What
of
is the
nickel.
normal distance? I mean, we've done
I
this
mean,
a couple times. It's 16 yards, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's way too far. Ideally, you'll want to be either here or you know
Walking into it, right? Yeah, like
Yes,
walking into it as it's
exactly. Yeah. He does get a little momentum right before the snap. Once again, just him being a great football. You'll see him watch him. He times it up perfectly, and he's got a full. And he
But
takes
if like
a great
Hendrickson,
angle.
right, D-But it's
Yep.
cool how they get to Tampa too from that. And Hendrickson, they have different responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
The end now becomes the hook curl guy. If Hendrickson is dumb and has no idea and he just sits over the ball in the middle, that guy's open and Josh Allen can just dump it to
Yep.
him right away probably.
Exactly. Yep. And it's gonna be a catch and run situation.
They're all on the same page.
Discipline, huh? This defense,
Discipline,
discipline.
communication.
Could Cole Beasley, right off the snap, see him blitz and just turn around and yell at Josh Allen, or is that
No, because it's not a hot read.
Yeah.
Remember, it's only 4 rushers, so nobody's hot. You know
Okay.
what I mean? So you run your regular route concepts. If it was 4 guys coming off the same side, then he'll be in the hot progression.
You think Cole's surprised that that the guy was standing over top of him, made it all the way back whenever he turns his head right now? You think Cole's like, what the fuck? That was the guy who was in front of me?
Probably. I mean, these guys.
What the fuck just
Everybody's
happened?
been watching. You know, 21 at this point. Even in Pittsburgh, he was doing this coming off the edge. So this ain't nothing new. You got to be aware. Kind of like C. Wood when he was in Green Bay. You better
Yeah.
know where the fuck 21 is. I don't care where he line up. He could be in a 2-man. He could be blitz. He could be doing whatever. It's another great job. Another more simulated pressure. So you got Josh Sweat up top. You got Hassan Reddick down bottom. Probably two of their best pass rushers, definitely off the edge. They're actually going to blitz CJ right up the middle. And once again, only going to
Whoa.
Yeah, T's and
Just real
P's.
quick, T's and P's. Moment of silence for CJGJ's Kia.
Honda or Kia?
Kia.
Kia?
On game
Well,
day.
it's a vastly superior machine.
Day
Those
after.
are easy to steal now.
That's tough.
Oh, is it?
Philly?
I think it was day after because in the video he goes, after a win?
After win, dog.
You get an interception though, right?
That's tough. That's tough. But
Got to play well.
I guess it's easy to
great
steal
game.
those Kias now.
Apparently.
I heard it was a
They're the
TikTok
ones that you can
challenge or
get, yeah.
It's crazy that somebody just cracked the code and was like, hey, here it is, by the way. And then every key owner's like, let's go try this out. That can't be real.
Got to put the club on your wheel now.
Oh, I
That'd be
remember
awesome.
those.
Oh,
yeah.
Those came in, changed the game. Anyway, CJ GJ, former owner of a Kia.
If we run it back to the beginning, so pre-snap, and we kind of we talked about a route with Saquon in the Minnesota game, where when you had the two guys, you had 1-2, they ran inside routes, and Saquon kind of leaked out and went there late. So Daniel Jones, I think he's anticipating one of these guys being responsible for Saquon and then just swinging it out there, but he kind of fucked him with Sweat just coming out of the pass rush and getting with and going with Saquon, and being that you have a too-high shell. Bradbury knows I can play this aggressive. I can play this little spot slash, because he running a spot route, but he really wants to pick him going out to the flat. So you'll see Daniel Jones peek to his left really quick. He wants Saquon, but then he comes back and end up throwing it to the picker. And James Bradbury, unbelievable anticipation, great break. He just gets right to the spot. Bum! So he never, I don't think he ever anticipated Bradbury ever beating him to that spot. So you'll see it from the tight copy, if we got this from the tight copy. And then this pressure in his face obviously doesn't make it any easier. And once again, you're getting pressure, we're only sending 4. You're only sending 4, so it feels like a blitz, looks like a blitz, but you only got 4 pass rushers, one of them being a DB, and then you still got 7 guys in coverage.
I think Saquon.
D-But, look at old CJ GJ time up his blitz. If you go back, you see he knows Saquon takes off in that motion, and you see CJ's like, all right, here we go.
Yep.
I know they have to snap the ball here in the next second or two.
Yep.
Perfect timing.
Perfect time. So this back-to-back
Nice pass,
DBs
too.
timing up their blitz. So veteran players, CJ GJ, another guy who he made his
What a
hand New
play.
Orleans playing in the slot. So when you play in the slot, it's a lot of feel. Like AQ, you know, those centers, those guards, like they're peeking out to those nickels to see, okay, where is pressure coming? Can it come? Can it not come? Where do we slide? Where do we don't? So nickels and offensive linemen play a lot of little head games, and obviously he's, been around the block for a while.
I think
Great.
Danny should have thrown it to Saquon. I think
with Sweat.
I think he had the edge.
Saquon,
The design of this by John Gannon, the defensive coordinator there.
Cannon.
Gannon?
Yep.
Yeah.
Gannon.
Rock, paper, scissors. Hey, so
cool,
because they
Chuck,
get in
it's
that
cool.
bear look, and it puts them in a 5-down call, which means all the offensive linemen, the 5 offensive linemen, are responsible for those 5 guys that are up. So nobody can come off, and they keep the guy in the rush over the right guard, so he can't come off, which is great design, And that's why CJ comes.
Hey, are they
as well.
good? Everybody's talking about the Niners defense. The Eagles defense, unbelievable as well.
Dogs.
I mean, that's
their front, unbelievable. And then their coverage guys, when the guys up front aren't just kicking your ass, the guys on the back end are covering. Slay, Bradbury, CJ, GJ, Maddox may be coming back, I believe. So,
Chuck?
great group.
You were holding it up.
Number 2, 1 versus 2 in this matchup.
They have 70 sacks on the season, so that's-
70
Number 1 offense.
sacks. 4 dudes.
70 sacks.
4 dudes with
Yeah, they're
double-digit
like
sacks. on the
9
D-line.
away, right, to set the record single season.
Holy fuck.
Next play, great defense.
70 sacks?
70, yeah, 4
They had
guys
4
over
guys.
double digits.
Imagine how much fun that would be to watch.
Oh my God.
Imagine how much fun it would be
Johns.
to cover behind. Fuck,
So, yeah,
watch
it's a
it.
game changer, huh?
Yeah, so here we go. Pause. AJ always talks about it. Speed at 3. Putting a dynamic receiver at 3 always impacts the defense. I don't care what coverage you're in. You got to make adjustments. And then just keep an eye on Fred Warner. Once again, his communication to the left side of the defense, then the right side of the defense, because he knows, hey, we got CeeDee Lamb at 3. Hey, all right, let's talk about it over here. Bum. Let's get to our check over here. So maybe it's an empty check. Let's make sure everybody's on the same page. You'll see Jimmy Ward relay it. And then Jimmy Ward, this is great hook curl play. As soon as that guy goes to the flat, and you got a flat defender out there, continue to sink straight back and put your eyes on the quarterback. Now, from the quarterback standpoint, you got to feel this defender out here, because he's only looking at CeeDee Lamb pressing in and away from Fred Warner, and he believes, okay, this is my one-on-one. But run it back a little bit, Jimmy Ward, like, he's all over it. And when you're getting empty, especially this time of year, you know the concepts, right? Like everybody, you are who you are at this point. So I know the concept. So I know when he's coming out, when he breaks out, I'm either expecting him to run that stick route right now or pivot away from his leverage. And I know Fred Warner is going to be where he's supposed to be, which is inside leverage. So this is great team defense once again. And he's in that window for T.Y. Hilton if he runs a dig. eyes on the ball, opposite tips and overthrows, running to the ball. It's great defense, man.
That ended up being, the concept offensively ended up being a dice route, right?
Yep.
A short, quick dice route.
Yep.
Have you talked about why we
We-
call it dice?
You're Fred Warner there.
Seems like a roll of the dice.
The
No,
five-
it's like
no,
the
the five
like the
spots.
5 dice. So it's like a
If you stop it, right, when they're all at their spots, the route,
Yep.
Dallas's,
Fred Warner starts screaming when Zeke leaves.
yeah.
It's got to be their empty check.
Empty check,
Yeah.
yep. So cover 2, empty check, which was a very
Key back.
common-
But you call that what Jimmy Ward's doing? We used to call that key back. If your
So,
2 goes
yeah.
out and you're in trips, key back, you get picks all day. On
Yep.
Charles
The
Woodson, I
five-
watched him get
the
picks.
5
Oh yeah,
receivers.
on those stick routes,
Looks like
Yep.
be the best.
the 5 on a dice.
Nah, so
Spacing.
T.Y. ends up running. San Fran actually runs a lot of dice route, but T.Y. ends up running the dig and go. Gallup ran the dig, so yeah.
Do teams normally run the wheel route with a center, like the Cowboys did here, or
Very athletic center right
Setting
there.
them up.
Yeah, that was a setup for the
They
last
just know
play.
the center can run a wheel route.
What was the last play?
No one's
There you go.
open, too.
Communication once again. Quiet defense is their defense. Everybody on the same page. Empty check. Cover 2. Hands. They look like they actually call it. We used to call it hands. Hands.
Yep.
CD pivoting away. Boop boop.
Nice route.
Great poach.
Was it, though?
That's what he's called.
It
Poach.
was. Look at him. I mean, if he's
I know, I'm
one-on-one
just-
here, think about if Fred doesn't have any help here. That's a tough deal.
Great nickel play from Jimmy Ward. He's pissed. I'm sure he didn't catch his pick, but running to the ball, good things happen when you run to the ball. Good shit, Fred.
Hey, that's
Warner.
good work.
Great tackle.
Yeah. Only chink in the San Fran defense right now is the deep balls, and that's where Jalen Hurts has been
Efficient.
best in the league from wire to wire, hitting like 20, 25 plus balls, and that's where San Fran has struggled some. Travis Kelce, how is he getting in his zone every week? It seems.
Why don't they cover the guy?
Why don't they cover the guy? These are 2 examples. It'd be this play and the next play of how Travis Kelce gets lost in the sauce. Now, right here, another thing to point out, he was highlighted for a reason. That's Rayshawn Jenkins, actually a safety, but this is heavy personnel down here. And the reason they're heavy personnel, that's 1, 2, 3 safeties and 1 corner on the field as opposed to base, which would be 2 corners and 2 safeties. So they're heavy now because the offense comes out in 13 personnel. Now, is it really 13 personnel? No, 13 personnel would be 1 running back, 3 tight ends. But Travis Kelce is a wide receiver, right? When we go into game plans, we go into the game records, Travis Kelce is a wide receiver, especially without Tyreek Hill there, but he's a wide receiver. He lines up at number 1 in the bunch. And when the ball snaps, Mahomes going to move the pocket. He's going to boot out. You're going to get that who Pat just had number 3 on. He's going to go to the flat. I'm sorry, the running back is going to go to the flat. Tight end is going to run. This is that Spider 2 wide banana pretty much that John Gruden made famous.
Spider 2
And
white
then-
banana.
From the number 1 position, he blocks actually and then just kind of gets lost in the sauce. Finds space. Patrick Mahomes, you get the flat right. What do you call that? The leak?
The late.
The late guy. So he becomes the late guy that just kind of gets lost and just finds the void in the defense, and then he ends up in the end zone.
So that little fake block thing, that they use that a bunch.
Yeah.
It felt like for
yeah.
Travis Kelce. I guess all tight ends use this, but
Yep.
for Travis Kelce, it's even more loose because you get him on a bigger guy, right? Because all the small guys say, "Oh, he must not be doing shit. Let me get out of here."
You just get him ready to find space. So Patrick Mahomes is probably looking, okay, pause it. If his first look, and this is another guy who scores a bunch of touchdowns, McKinnon. So if you run it back a little bit, like when he's near this hash, he's probably looking, okay, does anybody have leverage on this back first? That's probably his first read. And then he'll look and see, okay, is the deep 7 covered? They do a great job covering those guys. He's covered. Great job on the end. Josh Allen, the pass rusher. Now he's in coverage. Great job. But now everything's flowing this way. So defensively, everything's going to flow that way as well. And Travis Kelce kind of just stops in the void and kind of go against the grain, catch it, and obviously knows exactly where to get with the ball. So that's a tough play to cover unless you're in man coverage and you say, all right, regardless of what this guy does, I'm staying on him.
So do you put like the number 1 corner on Kelce, or do you put like the number 2 and double him?
Some people, depending on the body type. So if I got Jalen Ramsey, if I got Stephon Gilmore, if I got, these big long corners, and that's my number 1 guy. Yeah, Sauce, a guy like that would be a perfect matchup. But if it's, Denzel Ward or, Patrick Surtain would be a great matchup for him. But if it's some of these other guys, so it depends on the body type, really.
Cincinnati, then, would you say double?
Anybody, I say fucking double.
True,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, oh yeah.
Bracket?
And this is
bracket. That's
so this is the double right here. This is actually a bracket. This is on the 1 yard line. This is that 98.
Not as easy as you think, D, but
Yeah.
they think to double people, too.
No, just double
We're
him,
about to,
bro.
we're about to, we're about to see
Take
right
him
now.
away.
You got 4 eyes. He's
Hey,
got 2. Figure it out.
So right now we're in the huddle.
Experience. Belichick's able to do it.
Try to do it.
AJ gets the call. Hey, 1 double 87. So that's the call right here in this huddle, right? So number one, especially playing Andy Reid, you heard Lou talk about it. Okay, now they're coming out of the huddle. You got to find these motherfuckers. Number one, it's 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends. So let's find everybody. This linebacker, obviously, these guys are trying to line. So these are the guys doubling Kelce, and they're trying to get him lined up right now.
Which guys are?
These 37 and I believe that's 48. They're doubling Travis Kelce right now, who's kind of in a. When you see a tight end in that position, you're thinking block first, but Travis Kelce, you're fucking double team. It's 1 double 87. So you got McKinnon out wide, trying to get lined up on him late. Motion is more eye candy, right? Let me take some eye candy. Boom. So you're gonna fake this, and I'm sure they toss this to him plenty. And now he's going to the flat, getting a pick. He's on a 1 yard line, so this is a legal pick. And you got both guys that are doubling Kelce about to get picked by this 1 wide receiver. So nobody has him. And it's like you watch this on TV, you watch it at home, and it's like, what the fuck? How is this dude always walking in the end zone by himself? And we'll get a better view of this from the back copy. This is leverage. I think the only way you can kind of avoid that, because you can't just run through a pick, especially if I got 2 guys. Hey, for it, you stay inside, pause it, you go back a little bit more, because it got to happen earlier.
Look at the chaos, too. Look at the chaos pre-snap.
So a lot of shit going on. And now 37, you got to get outside. Like, nope, like you got to.
You're beat by alignment there. Yeah.
Yeah, you're already beat. We got a double team, and we're standing right the fuck next to each other. Like, you got to get outside and off the ball so that you can't get picked by MVS. Or you say, hey, whoever's guarding MVS, if your guy picks, you come off
Chuck,
because you
all
have
right?
leverage on him.
What's going on, Chuck?
God, that
What happened?
Chuck's,
That drive you
Yeah,
damn
yeah,
nuts,
yeah.
right? When we got the guy double, because everybody's saying, why don't you just double the damn guy?
Yeah.
Well, we got double 87 on, and this flipping whoever lost his freaking, and we got 2 guys inside, to your point.
Yeah.
As far as leverage goes, come on, man.
48 knows too. Like, hey, we can't let Chad Henne get loose. 'Cause
Yeah.
If he
Look at
breaks
his
the
ball.
pocket, he's gone.
Hey, look, they're right behind each other. Never good.
Right,
there.
yeah.
No.
It's bad, and that little motion from that running back, like you got it, like it's everything happens fast. If it's just one little thing, I mean, even the chaos of trying to get lined up, like this, like 48, I got to double Kelce, and I'm trying to get my compadre lined up and get, because right now
Running
one's
back's
wide
over
open.
here.
He's wide open. If Henny wanted to snap this ball and just throw it to him,
So I think
they're in trouble right there.
48's a rookie too, right? Muma,
Yeah, young,
out of Wyoming.
Yeah. So that,
Shout out
that's-
Wyoming.
That's pissed.
Go
We call
Cowboys.
1 double 87 in the huddle. All right, we're gonna take away 87. Somebody else got to beat us, and he ends up walking into the end zone.
Oh, yeah, he is just fucking wide ass.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If he just picks like Brady,
Hey.
I don't care what the fuck is called in the huddle. They miss the line.
Sounds
Boom,
like
it's
Romo.
coming out right now.
Well,
So
Wait, sir.
legal pick route. So this one pick route ends up taking 3 guys. And Travis Kelce walks in the end zone.
And Henny just fucking puts a beautiful ball
Darn.
right on him.
Are we sure they don't want to go with Henne?
what was the cadence?
Capping out 98 yard drive right there.
Switch it up.
What's the cadence sound like over there?
I think it was something like, wait, sir.
Just yelling.
What did Jim say back when he did that?
Nothing.
Jim no-sold it?
Yeah, kind of. And then because Romo said something like, hey, you still get a 5-yard penalty. You know, he's still jumping. Jim was like, all right.
Did you read his body language? Was his body
No,
language?
they weren't on screen when
That probably made it
they
better.
went to break. He's like, all right, we'll be right back.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
There was just so many things happening where I was like, internet.
Yeah.
When they came back, and
him having the I'm sorry, Jim. I'm not ready. Got something in my mouth.
fucking keep living, Tony.
Love you, Tony.
Love you, Tony.
He's the best.
17.
What's the next one? Oh, yeah. All right, so
Yeah.
we can run it back a little bit, Pat. So, so the Giants obviously doing a great job once again, getting in motion, going out empty. They do a good job aligning. And you're trying to show Jalen Hurts something, right? This is 3rd and 5 on their first drive, I believe, and now they get into the red area, showing the 2 high shell, and you're actually going to rotate down into 1 robber. So he's going to go into the post. He's going to come down and rob the middle of the field. And when you got 1 robber, everyone else that's in coverage, you got to be outside leverage because you want to funnel them to your help, right? Down safety that's on Dallas Goedert, he's going to get picked from Zach Pascal up top, 3rd and 5, so they execute this pick route to perfection.
How often these happen? All the time?
Pick routes happen all the time. Rub routes, pick routes. Sometimes they try to do some good acting. Pascal actually does a great job here because this is deeper than we saw the 1 yard one from MVS. That's legal. It's a legal pick. This is 4 or 5 yards down the field. He actually hops out of McKinney's way at the very last, almost like a, what do you call that?
Olay? Matador?
Yeah, little matador, exactly. So he does that, and you're expecting that contact. So he still falls, and then Jalen Hurts puts a dart on the one-hand catch, goes in for the touchdown. 3rd and 5, this was to cap off their first. I think Jalen Hurts was like 6 for 6 or,
darts.
Hit the first big play down the field, which was their second play of the game to Devontae Smith. So defense started off great. 2 high shell, rotate down. And the one Robbie, you see the outside leverage there. So if he was to throw that, you got help there, you got help there. You can't get beat outside in one robber. The pick route damn near makes that impossible. And once again, great execution this time from the offensive side. What you got, Chuck?
When you put them on those two guys on different levels,
Yeah, if you go back to the wide fast, you see what he's
talk
talking
them through
about?
that.
So, yeah, if you are anticipating a pick route, he's saying with these defenders being on the same level, it's easier to get picked. Yeah, you got to back up so that you
The other
don't
guy,
get
old buddies, if he's in the slot, he's on the point. You got to back up. Exactly, Chuck. You know you're picked.
What we used to say, the guy that was on the ball had the right of way, right? So
Yep.
let him, because he could get his hands on him. The guy on the line of scrimmage,
Yep.
the guy that was off the line of scrimmage, he played off.
Yeah, so
And
he
then you
will
don't-
be.
this
Yeah.
don't
So
happen.
he's on the line of scrimmage here, and so we're saying McKinney should back up a little bit because if he comes now, good receivers, good offenses, they take an angle where they run at you and you have to avoid them. So maybe even if he goes over the top, he can become flat off this and still catch it and maybe be strong enough to get that first down. But you at least give yourself a better chance.
Snag from Goddard.
Was a snag.
Had
Good
to throw
ball,
a dart, though,
good
to
snag.
catch it
Yeah.
that way.
This was kind of the new rage this year. The bluff, the matador deal,
yeah.
running right at guys on those down and distances, those situations, and then just jump and just and just jumping
Coach,
out of the way. It's like
Chuck, what would you tell him? What would you tell your defender? Would you say
Different
they're going
levels,
to lay you? You got to jump it. Well, say you get caught in that situation, you're not on different levels. Would you say, hey, you got to turn into him and hit him so it looks like he picked you, so they throw a
I
flag?
mean, that's one thing, but you can't guarantee with the officiating the way it is, the inconsistencies, that you're going to get the call. So it's like, okay, run into them and get, and then they don't throw it, and then you feel bad for telling that DB to run into it, and they don't throw the flag.
So what you got to say? You got to power through that. Can't get. You just have. That's because.
I mean,
get on
He
different.
could have. Go ahead, Chuck.
your alignment should take care of it.
You get on different levels, and to Darius's point, those guys are going to take just deeper routes. And as soon as if you try to go under, he's going to stop sooner, bluff you sooner. If you try to go over the top of the outside pick, then that guy's just going to adjust his route and run through your outside shoulder and still pick you.
That's good. That's good coaching. Good
Yep.
coach for receivers. Sirianni was a receivers coach. Aaron Moorhead, I believe, is the
Or-
receivers coach out
Chuck,
there.
think about it. Sorry, D-Bub, but if you
Now,
get
go
in his
ahead.
tailpipe, they can't pick you. That's why you get in their tailpipe.
No,
Yeah.
you're exactly right.
And this one, he doesn't get picked, does the Olay. If he keeps his feet,
See, dude.
it's a tackle. He could potentially tackle him before he gets to that first down.
Could you jam the shit out of him too? Does that help at all?
Yeah,
or-
the guy that's why when you have that right away to be on the line of scrimmage,
Yeah.
it's your job to get a jam and disrupt what they want to do. Because if you get up there in your face and they can still do routes on fucking air like they drew it up, it's no point of you being up in the press.
The thing they won't call to that is like if you get up there and you jam number 2 and you force them into the pick, then there's all bets off. They won't call the
Oh, it's
penalty.
like blocking into a quarterback.
because you forced them into them. So that's another catch-22 that you
Yeah.
can't do.
Yeah.
Good execution right
Seems to
there.
be unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's fucking
Eagles
tough.
are very good.
Very, very tough. I was always a big fan of passing shit off, right? If there was any, so those splits pre-snap would tell me, hey, 3rd and 5, I'm sure that's not the first time they ran that play in that situation. Once again, we're in week 21 now. So these shits pop up. So 3rd and 5, I see this alignment where we can potentially get this. Let's line up on the same level. So we both going to be 4 or 5 yards off. If they come off, we just pass it off. You know what I mean? So but you gotta prep
Trust.
that. You gotta walk through that. We gotta talk about it in meeting rooms. You can't just get out there in the field and do that. If you run this back to the beginning, it's Jamar Chase in the backfield. Starts off in the backfield before. So Joe Burrow has 2 plays here in the huddle, like most quarterbacks do. Once he sees the nickel align over Jamar Chase, he probably anticipates man coverage here, so he goes to the second play. Check, check, check. Keep an eye on that play too. Kansas City got scored on last week from Christian Kirk being in that position.
Yeah.
kind of
Hey, that seems like a smarter way to make them identified than just having a running back all the way outside run all
Yeah.
the way in. Hey, do a 30-yard sprint before the ball is snapped so we can find out whether or not it's man. Why don't more people do this type of thing? That seems like an easy.
I don't know.
Got to break the huddle on time.
Yeah.
Got to make sure you got enough time on the play clock. To do all this.
Yeah.
Got it.
Great
Got
point.
it.
Great point. So you get out. They obviously got out of the huddle. Then they get to their shift. They alert. Teron Johnson actually runs with him. So once again, telling the quarterback, hey, this looks like man. Teron Johnson actually pressures. So it becomes a 5-man pressure with 3 under, 3 deep on the back end. So he's going to rotate down and cover down on Jamar Chase. He's going to rotate and be that deep safety. And then the pressure is going to kind of get home, right? And if you pause it right, like about a couple frames, boom. So right here now, Burrow's getting pressure. He's stepping up, and he's also looking to this flat. And as a seam flat player, right, we only got 3 guys underneath in coverage. 1, 2, 3, and 3 deep. So you got to have stickier, it's match, carry, deliver concepts. It's not zone dropping where, hey, I got a flat guy in my flat, and I'm going there. It's match, carry, deliver. So unless I deliver, especially Jamar fucking Chase, I would rather you throw to Hayden Hurst in the flat than me drop Chase, and they ended up dropping Chase.
Jeez.
But I think they both reacted to Joe Burrow breaking the pocket, looking at Hayden Hurst, and then it turns to kind of backyard ball down there.
Soak it up, Buffalo. Soak it up.
What's your problem?
I just want them to, remember this. Make them remember how the pain feels. So when they win it all,
Can't have. Sun
right
doesn't
here.
feel as good without the rain.
boom, there it is.
Exactly right.
There we go.
Especially
5-man
when
pressure.
there's nobody around this guy.
Boom. So now he looks at that flat, and you see the pressure getting home too. As a DB, you feel it too. You kind of like, okay, it's probably his outlet. He's probably gonna dump this down, but you can't let Jamar do that wide open.
At least Poyer will be back. Oh, wait, they fired the safeties coach, and they need to pay him.
No communication between the two, right?
Nope.
As far as an end. Remember we told you, didn't we used to tell you, hey, there's gray area by Jamar, and he's going, there's whatever, and he's going behind. Let's to your
Stay.
point, stay on him,
Yeah.
right? And let him run through to the flat with the goat.
Absolutely. So they go check, alert, get to that second play. He motions out. I think great communication pre-snap because you told a great lie pre-snap. It looks like man coverage.
Yeah.
Everything looked like man coverage until it snapped. And then when you rotate down, I mean, his eyes were never honestly on Jamar. Once again, communication, pre-snap, meetings, hey, if he comes
man.
to the flat right now, we swapping this out, we passing this off. Not a communication I would make, but potentially the way he plays it, that's how he looks like he's anticipating that. And then you got to understand, safeties, I think this is their maybe 4th safety that they were down to with Buffalo. So if that's Micah Hyde, this probably doesn't happen. If that's, obviously what happened to Damar Hamlin. But if that's Hamlin, probably doesn't happen. Started 13, 14 games this year. So this is a part of what happens as well when you deal with injuries and guys playing with, if I'm playing with Vontae, that pick route, I don't need to look at Tay. It's one quick, you know what's happening. If I'm playing with somebody else,
Hey.
maybe some mix. Yeah.
Hey, what we talked about.
Great point, D-Butt, honestly.
Yeah.
Hey, remember we talked Tuesday. Tuesday we went through this. We're doing
That's
the
real.
Yeah.
You do that on the field, for real. Wednesday walkthrough, here it is. That's what you do. Like
Wednesday.
that. Ball
Wednesday.
snap.
We did 2 times. Remember we did a redo. We got the. Yeah.
And then after the play, if it's like just like an incomplete pass, you'll see those 2 guys just juiced, like punching each other. Yeah, we got it. Like, that's
And then-
when he feels good.
And then if one person doesn't get the message and somebody gets cooked, immediately afterwards you see the.
Yeah.
We
Point,
fucking
palms up.
talked about.
That
Palms
body
up.
language.
This is exactly what we did. Look at the film. Wednesday walkthrough. This is
No
it.
palms up.
This is actually.
Body language fine.
Shit. Hey, thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate you, fellas.
That was incredible.